I'm Doc Springer from Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors. I work with the TAPS Red Team, and we're here in response to the recent tragedy that occurred on Friday, March 9th in Yountville. I was asked to make this video by some people in the Vets Resource Center, and I wanted to make it available to people more generally about what to expect for those who are impacted by this kind of a sudden, unpredictable tragedy. What typically happens is in the initial period, people feel shocked and they have sometimes bizarre dreams and nightmares and heightened anxiety. Sometimes a tragedy like this can very much trigger past traumas in people's personal life histories, and for this reason it's very important to make sure that you go and meet with somebody you trust who's a professional to get assessed if you're having any of these symptoms. What will then happen typically is weeks later there will be waves of grief. And what happens with any kind of a big life change is what I call the burst of support effect, where people will come out in droves to support those who are suffering for several weeks after the tragedy, and then they'll kind of go back to their lives. It's hailing outside, so that's just thunder. So the burst of support effect is universal, and it applies to health crises, car accidents, even if you have a baby. People will surround you for a few weeks and then they go back to their lives. So if people withdraw their support, it's not because they don't love you, it's just a human tendency and kind of what we do. Unfortunately, with the burst of support, what happens is when people really need the help the most, that's when they often feel the withdrawal of those that are supportive. So I would encourage people to have a two-part proactive plan for dealing with this. The first part is to, as I said, line up an assessment with somebody you trust who is a professional, who can kind of assess you and look at how to help with any immediate stabilization needs and what you need going forward. I would suggest that with this person, who might be part of an employee assistance program, might be at a vet center, might be in the community, you can Google grief support groups as well, that you schedule meetings with them 2 weeks out, 4 weeks out, 8 weeks out, 12 weeks out, on some kind of a schedule that makes sense to you, that will make sure that you have eyes on you, because things are going to kind of unfold that you may not expect as the grief reaction fully sets in. And the other thing I would recommend is that you really figure out who's on your fire team. Now, a fire team in the Marine Corps is a group of 4 Marines who work together, who trust each other with their lives. So take that concept and think about who are the people that you love and trust most deeply in your life, and identify 3 other people in your life. Ask them to pull their phone out and put some reminders in their phone to check in with you every week for the next 16 weeks, and then every other week for weeks beyond that, so that you have the support lined up that you need and you have your tribe coming around you when you're going to need the support. So those are a few thoughts on what to expect and how to kind of plan for it. That's all I have for now.